This is commentary on Lesson 84 in the Workbook for A Course in Miracles. We're again today reviewing two ideas, or two lessons for the day, Lesson 67 and Lesson 68. Again, the practice is to practice each of these lessons once. This one, 67, first part of the day, and the second one, which is 68, Love Holds No Grievances. So we have one longer practice period and then frequent reminders in between our practice periods, and then applying the idea to all our situations in the day when we're tempted to feel like we're in conflict or our loss of peace. And we have some suggested ideas, but they're just suggestions. The idea is to have the concept. So the practice is to read this lesson over a couple of times, get your mind focused on this idea, love created me like itself, in this first one, and then spend the majority of the time in listening, that there's a message for us from our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, and that's what since we've quieted our minds by the right thinking, that we now have the sane thinking along the lines of this lesson. Love created me like itself. As we hold that thought there, then we listen for guidance on the inside. Let me make a brief comment about this idea, the idea in this lesson here, and we'll do a little philosophy. It comes as a surprise to a lot of course students how much the Course's theory is rooted in our Western traditions, and one of those is idealism, British idealism, German idealism, and that was dominant worldview for a long time, that there is no physical things, there's just ideas. And Bishop Berkeley, for one, was propagated the idea that we're an idea in the mind of God, but that everything's our ideas. Now, he believed that the tables and the chairs and the rivers and the streams and all those things were real, but they were ideas. So the Course is a little different in that it says they're just ideas, that physical universe isn't really there. But how does that relate to Course practice? Well, if you look at this, I'm in the likeness of my Creator. I cannot suffer, I cannot experience loss, and I cannot die. I'm not a body. That is our sense of our interactions between ourselves and others, that there's gain, there's loss, I can experience loss. But all of this is rooted in the idea that I'm a body. So let's pull up chapter 15 here, the Holy Instant, and let's just read this paragraph. You do not find it difficult to believe that when another calls on God for love, your call remains as strong, nor do you think that when God answers him, your hope of answer is diminished. On the contrary, you're more inclined to regard his success as witness to the possibility of yours. That is because, now here's the key, that is because, however dimly, you recognize that God is an idea, and so your faith in him is strengthened by sharing. What you find difficult to accept is the fact that, like your Father, you are an idea, and like him, you can give yourself completely, without loss and only gain, and only with gain. And herein lies peace, for here there is no conflict. So if our function now is to recognize we're not a body, and to use the body as a communication instrument that communicates love, the idea that we are love, then in our relationships there's no loss. There's no loss in giving ideas. Whereas if we think of ourselves as bodies giving to other bodies, then sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But if love is real, there can be no loss for us. But we need to accept this idea that we are an idea, and we're this idea of love, and we can give that completely and then receive that completely. So the idea of love is what our bodies are now communicating. Okay, so that's a little philosophy. So we read through the lesson, comments here, and then we practice by listening. So that's lesson 67. Now, some of the ideas that we may use, we don't necessarily have to be these words, but these concepts throughout the day to keep us focused on the lesson, to keep us focused on this idea love created me like itself. We could say, let me not see an illusion of myself in this when a situation comes up. As I look on this situation, let me remember my Creator, and my Creator did not create this as I see it. So doesn't the particular words don't matter, but just getting the mind focused to that concept, the idea of love that we are, and we can give that idea to everything without loss and receive just back love. Okay, so love holds no grievances. If you look at the word grievances, the word grieve is in there. Grieve, what? Grieving loss. And in love, there is no loss, because by giving it, that's what we receive. And so there's no need for grievances because there's no loss. So grievances are completely alien to love. Grievances attack love and keep its light obscure. If I hold grievances, I'm attacking love and therefore attacking myself. Myself thus becomes alien to me, and I'm determined not to attack myself today so that I can remember who I am. So love holds no grievances. This is the latter part of the day. We'll use this lesson. And then these are some of the forms of applying this idea. When situations arise, we're tempted to lose our peace or forget the idea that we're love, I'm going to say there's no justification for denying myself. I will not use this to attack love, and let this not tempt me to attack myself. So those are just suggested words. The idea is to have the concept. All right, that's it for today. Thank you.